Jinney, sorry.
Thank you. You don't count that, right? Thank you.
Nowadays, we are often encouraged to fulfill our dream, our desire, ambition. But at the end of the day, we also find out people give up easily for the reason no greater than fear. Why are we so afraid? I think I got the answer from the novel I recently read, Madame Bovary. It is written in 19th century by Gustave Flaubert and is talking about a woman who stepped into a marriage that is not very suitable for her. Gradually, she became shopaholic and sex with others. After she was accused of credit fraud, she swallowed arsenic and died. However, no matter how mad her life was, it is a totally tragedy. When we follow the author to trace back into her sad story, we will find out that she knew very little about love when she married. Her all knowledge about men came from third-grade romantic novel. So after all of her naive thought was broken by the marriage, her life became mad and ended up as a tragedy. The story has raised many readers, including me, sympathy for Madame Bovary and fear of life. The fear that we too have to start our journey of life while knowing little about it. The fear that we know too little about human relationships. The fear that how miserable it will become because of our unintentional deed. The fear that how cruel and cold-hearted our society is to our mistake. The fear that what it will be if we are failure. Since around 18th century, our world has become more and more meritocratic. We believe that if you have talent, passion, perseverance, we too can be a very successful person. In other words, we own our destiny. People can only be too childish or lazy if they didn't success. Look at our newspaper. The way they teasing the people who have messed up their life have no trace of politeness. Actually, someone has done an experiment that what title will the editor give if Madame Bovary is a real person? And it turns out to be shopaholic adulteress swallow arsenic after credit fraud. And I translate into 纵欲女因信用诈欺吞食砒霜而死. Imagine that you just see this title in a newspaper or magazine. I think the image of person which popped into your mind will be very different from what I said about Madame Bovary. The newspaper has simplified her great story into something ridiculous. So you see, the concept that we own our success also makes our failure become extremely painful and shameful. And it is exactly what we don't want to go through. The feelings of shame, rather than the failure itself. So, even if the great opportunity comes, we seldom dare to grab it. Because we believe the greater the opportunity is, the greater the risk is. Most of the time, the desire to avoid the shame of failure is bigger than the desire to success. However, instead of standing back, imprisoned by the fear, there is a way to face the challenge. Recently, I have recalled the content in a famous speech in TED Talk, Listening to Shame, which is delivered by Dr. Brené Brown, and maybe you have heard of that already. In this talk, she had mentioned a quote called "Man in the Arena." And it goes in this way. It is not the critic who counts. It is not the man who sits and points out how the doer of this could have done it better and how he stumbles and falls. A credit goes to the man in the arena whose face was marred with dust and blood and sweat. But when he is in the arena, at best he wins, and at worst he loses. But when he fails, when he loses, he does so daring greatly. Last month, when I was browsing my Facebook, I discovered another great sentence about facing failure that I want to share with you. And it is delivered by an even more famous person who we all know. Guess who? He is Howard! And he wrote that the process of learning is to keep finding oneself as an idiot. Well, the advantage of that is life is still meaningful, which I love a lot and couldn't agree more. And obviously there are a lot of persons think the same as me. So, including our great president, Emma, Sachi and Emma. So we all click alike. I think what Howard reminds us is it is okay to be an idiot because that means you're learning. Last but not least, there will certainly be many, many uncertainties in our future. What we can do is to step daringly into the arena and be kinder and gentler if we fail. Toastmaster of the afternoon.